Hey everybody, we're back here for part 3 of our series on flat feet. And so in today's video, I'm going to show you guys some exercises that you can do to correct any issues with flat feet or any fallen arches. But before I show you some of these exercises, I want to show you guys the specific muscles that we need to strengthen, as well as some secondary muscles, and also why we need to strengthen them, and how it affects our arch, and also what may cause flat feet to occur. So to begin, guys, what I have here is a diagram, and obviously we have an individual here, and so we have good normal alignment on the left side here, but also here on the right side is that they have a flat foot, as we can see. So first I want to talk about some of the intrinsic muscles of the foot that we need to strengthen. So I highlighted 2 of them here, the abductor hallucis and the interosseous muscles. So the reason why we need to basically strengthen these muscles is firstly because the abductor hallucis is responsible for flexing and abducting our big toe. So as you can see, I highlighted the abductor hallucis right here. So that muscle is responsible for kind of moving our toe around, and as you can see, it's right where our arch will kind of form. So this muscle needs to be strengthened in order to kind of build up that arch. Secondly is this interosseous muscles, which are highlighted in red up here. And the reason why we need to strengthen these is because they're going to kind of prevent any anterior arch flattening from occurring. So it's important to kind of strengthen all those muscles within our foot. And also, as you can see, I highlight everything in green. These are just some secondary muscles, because there is a lot of muscles in the foot that it's important to strengthen them as well to kind of provide some support and stability to our foot, so that we can all prevent this anterior arch flattening. So these 2 muscles here are specifically important in preventing the arch from flattening out. Now, with that being said, guys, moving on to kind of a couple other muscles that I highlighted is the anterior and posterior tibialis, as well as the flexor hallucis longus. So our anterior and posterior tibialis, so the anterior tibialis is kind of the more meaty portion of the front of our calf. It's which is something you can palpate and feel. And the posterior tibialis is located kind of in the posterior portion of our calf, as well as the flexor hallucis longus is kind of located in the lower portion of our heel right here, and it's responsible for moving our big toe, for flexing our big toe. That's one of its functions. So the reason why we need to strengthen these 2 muscles is because, these 3 muscles, is because by strengthening these 3 muscles, we can prevent valgus knee from occurring. So valgus knee is valgus is just a term that refers to the knee caving in and kind of collapsing. We want to prevent that from occurring. So we want to prevent the knee from moving inwards. So to do that, we need to strengthen these muscles. So by strengthening these muscles, guys, it can help basically build up our arch, prevent any arch flattening from occurring, and also prevent that knee from caving in. So these are some specific muscles I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to show you some exercises that you guys can kind of do to specifically strengthen these, as well as some secondary muscles within our feet and also within the lower portion of our leg. Okay guys, so the first exercise I want to show you is called pen and penny. And so for this exercise, you don't actually need a penny. You could actually use a quarter, dime, or loonie, whatever it is. And as you can see, I have a quarter right here. So what we're going to do with this quarter now is we're going to place it under our foot, just kind of the bony portion right here. As you can see, this bony portion is where we want to place the quarter. So we want to basically step on it. So I'm going to step on the quarter. So from there now, what we're going to do is now we're going to place the pen under our foot here where the arch is. As you can see now, guys, is that the pen is in contact with my arch, so there's no actual movement occurring within the adductor hallucis muscle. So the adductor hallucis muscle is the one we're focusing on and we want to strengthen. So from this position now is we want to push into the ground, so pushing in to the ground while keeping our toes on the ground, and we're going to want to flex this muscle. So now basically my foot is lifted, the arch is lifted, and now I'm not in contact with the pen. So the pen's just kind of there to provide us with more of a visual feedback. So now, guys, you can kind of hold this position for about 5-10 seconds, come down, rest, and then repeat again. As you can see, guys, so the thing is I want to point out is that these muscles here, my toes, they're working consistently hard and constantly hard to kind of help support this muscle here. So this muscle is really weak right now, so this is why we're getting a lot of support just kind of from our toes here to kind of provide that stability as well as strength to kind of lift our arch up. So guys, this is the first exercise. Perform about 10 to 12 repetitions for about 3 sets on each foot if both foot are flat-footed. Second exercise I want to show you guys is just a towel crunch. So you're going to basically take just a small towel, whatever it is, and then you're going to place your foot just onto the towel. So from here, guys, is what we're going to strengthen is we're going to be focusing on those interosseous muscles, which are these muscles kind of responsible for some of the movement and stability within our foot and our small toes specifically. They're also kind of providing stability to our foot as well as kind of to our arch. They're going to help build up that arch as well. So what we're going to do now is just kind of crunch in the towel, specifically focusing on our little toes there, just kind of getting the movement through there. We want to get maximum activation. So really focus on these muscles just kind of working hard. As you can see, my arch is kind of moving up every time I kind of crunch in. So you want to focus on going for about 12 to 15 repetitions here. Each foot, guys, depending on both foot are flat-footed, for about maybe 2 to 3 sets. Now guys, once you kind of get used to this exercise, you can kind of remove the towel and just kind of do it without the towel once you kind of get more used to this exercise. Okay, so the next exercise, guys, I want to show you is still for the abductor hallucis, which is that muscle on the medial portion of our foot that's kind of responsible for building up that arch. And it's a more challenging exercise than pen and penny. All you're going to do, guys, it's basically you're going to get to a single leg position here, and you're going to balance. So as you can see, just getting to this position and trying to hold it, it's already pretty challenging, and I can feel my foot, specifically abductor hallucis, just being activated, just to kind of hold me up and kind of support my ankle and my foot. So as you can see, it's already challenging for me, so this is pretty good for me. But if you wanted to make this more challenging for yourself, what you could kind of do is just do rotations. So to the side, to the right, and then to the left, and touching each side of the wall. That's one way to make this more challenging. Another way you could do it is take a medicine ball, a Swiss ball, whatever it is, and just hold it out in front of you, and then kind of just move side to side again. So now we're just kind of adding a little bit of weight, as well as you see, guys, I already fell. Pretty challenging exercise just to hold yourself up, because we're also incorporating some balance, some coordination as well. Also, guys, you can incorporate an unstable surface, whether you put a towel on the floor, Bosu ball, whatever it is, and just kind of hold that position, and you're going to feel that kind of medial portion of your foot just firing away. So you want to hold for maybe about 30-45 seconds. Each foot, depending on if they're both flat-footed or not, your feet, and that's going to help build up that arch as well as strengthen that abductor hallucis muscle. Okay, guys, so the next exercise I'm going to show you is for strengthening the tibialis anterior. So we know the tibialis anterior is responsible for dorsiflexion of the foot, but it's also responsible for preventing our knees from caving in. So it can help, by strengthening the tibialis anterior, it's going to help kind of prevent any valgus knee from occurring. It's also going to provide stability to our ankle joint and to our foot as well. So how we could do this, guys, is you could take either a foam roller or half roller, which you can see is what I have right here, and you're just going to place it kind of right under your heel here. And from this position, you can just kind of dorsiflex the foot, and you're going to get activation within this kind of knee portion of our muscle here. So you can kind of do this to kind of begin, just to kind of get some activation if you're kind of a beginner. Go for about 10 to 12 repetitions, maybe holding the top position for about 3 to 5 seconds. And then if you want to make this more challenging, guys, is you can take a resistance band, as you see I have here, and you can kind of loop it around your ankle here. Just going to loop it around, put it in, and then we're going to basically elevate our heel here. So the reason why we have this foam roller, half roller, is just so we can kind of get full range of motion, and so we're not kind of engaging in dorsiflexion while our foot is on the ground. So, from this position here, step out until you've kind of got some tension from the band, and now you're just going to dorsiflex. And then come back and dorsiflex. So guys, you want to make sure there's just enough tension though, so the further you come out, the more tension there's going to be, so the more challenging overall the exercise is going to be. So if you perform about 10 to 12 repetitions, it's about a 3 to 5 second hold. And then we switch sides. Okay guys, so for this next exercise that I want to show you, it's going to be specifically for strengthening the tibialis posterior as well as the flexor hallucis longus. And so we know that the tibialis posterior and the flexor hallucis longus are both responsible for plantar flexion of the foot, so that's moving the foot downwards. However, the tibialis posterior is also responsible for inverting the foot, so moving the foot inwards. So for this exercise, guys, what I'm going to have you do is you're going to keep your foot off the ground here, but you want to keep the heel portion on the ground. So the front portion kind of is going to be off the ground here, and you want to maintain a plantar flex position. So you're getting that activation of tibialis posterior and also the flexor hallucis longus. Now from this position out is you're going to slowly invert the foot until you can't invert it anymore. So now you're going to hold this position for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly bring it back to the starting position. And then repeat again. So you want to repeat this for about 10 to 12 repetitions, with holding for about 3 to 5 seconds at the inverted position. So guys, one quick tip, guys, is you want to keep the front portion of our calf here relaxed, because we don't want this muscle to be activated. We want the tibialis posterior to be activated in doing the work to invert our foot. So you should feel it kind of more on the medial posterior side of our calf. So guys, to make this exercise a little bit more challenging, what we can do is take a latex band or resistance band, and we're going to place it around our foot here. And so from this position, back to the plantar flex position, all we're going to do now is we're going to pull in the opposite direction when we invert the foot. So the same applies, hold for about 3 to 5 seconds, slow and controlled, perform about 10 to 12 repetitions. So add a little bit of resistance to make it a little bit more challenging and difficult. So guys, there's one exercise just to basically strengthen specifically the tibialis posterior, but you're also getting a little bit of activation within that flexor hallucis longus, just kind of from being in that plantar flex position. Alright, so there you guys have it. Those are some exercises and some tips that you guys can kind of apply if you are suffering from flat feet. That may be helpful to you. If you did find these exercises and these videos helpful, be sure to leave a comment and let me know. Also, if you have any questions about any of the exercises or any of the videos, be sure to leave a comment below as well, as we'll be happy to answer those comments. Also guys, if you want to see more fitness videos or fitness tips, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And lastly guys, if you are suffering from flat feet, hopefully you did find these videos helpful, and hopefully they can help correct the condition that you may be suffering from. Okay guys, so all the best and take care.